What is going on, y'all? Joshua here, and after months and months of setbacks, like you can't make this stuff up setbacks, I am super excited to bring to y'all the Outfitter 200-pound easy fold aluminum 2 e-bike carrier with ramp to find out if this bike rack can ramp your game up. First and foremost, I do want to give a huge shout out to Outfitter and Young Electric for this opportunity and their continued patience, because it took forever to get this video together. But here we are. Let me bring y'all in for a closer look as I do the unboxing to see what we get. Be right back. All right, y'all, I am back. This is the moment I have been waiting for ages now. Like, this goes back a while when this whole little collaboration began. And so it is time to finally open up the box and see what we get inside. Got my handy dandy little SWAT tool from Specialized that came with my stump jumper. Oh, it's time to open the box. Let's get into it. So y'all actually have no idea how long this has taken to bring to fruition. Like, it's taken forever, but I am so grateful for the team over at Outfitter and their continued patience with this. So where to begin? Instructions right out of the gate. Have some well-packaged components wrapped up, not shifting around. Well done. Of course, got a bags of goodies. All the various bolts. Put the SWAT tool up. That is legit super handy. Yeah, this is very nicely packaged, y'all. Oh, nice and lightweight trays. Feel nice and sturdy. I likey. And the other tray. That's the main kit and caboodle that actually slides into the hitch. Nice, robust, very heavy duty. Here are the arms that'll eventually pivot and hold the frame or seat tube depending on the bicycle frame design. Clamps for said portions of the frame. It's nice and packaged. The other clamp and the other bar. Now, what is super groovy? Oh, hey. Okay, my bad. That's the main part that will slide into the hitch. Has the bolt. This portion is the pivot part. And I should have realized that because of this, the little catch. All right, y'all. I've got a couple wrenches. Let's get to wrenching. Now, I have watched others' reviews on this rack, and as well, other racks built by Outfitter. And I can tell you, they do design some fantastic equipment. So I can actually recommend them. And again, what makes this particular unit, which is the 2-bike rack with ramp, so special is the ramp feature. Obviously, e-bikes are not the lightest bikes, especially due to the motor weight and specifically the batteries. So it is nice that you have a ramp to use when you've finished up your ride at the end of the day and you're just plumb worn out, or if you don't necessarily have the strength to go lifting up a 55, 60 pound e-bike, you know, or even heavier maybe in some cases that have extra like cargo feature attachments and what have you. Now looking through this instruction manual, got those bolts, couple wrenches are recommended. Step 1, yeah, I'm going to use the instructions, unlike when I installed the T-type transmission, y'all. Yeah, that was pretty silly. Stay tuned for that review as well. That will be coming down the road. Oh man. All right, step 1, get this. Get what appears to be these, which is number 8. And number 8 is not that one. Number 8 is that one. And it appears it's just a lock nut, maybe. Any washers? Now I don't see anything about a washer on there. Okay. So make sure you put this in the proper orientation, y'all. And the easiest thing to do is just slide it together. Just like that. And slide a bolt through. There it goes. Took a little wiggling. Get the thread started. Grab you a couple monkey wrenches or sockets, whatever, and go to town. Yeah, y'all know, when I first began my little mountain biking channel, doing a product review or collaboration like this was the furthest thing I had in mind that I would ever be doing. So, again, I just want to say a huge shout out to Outfitter for this unique opportunity. Thank y'all again so much. And I'm terribly sorry it took so long to get to this point. But anyway, as I put the bolt through and got it tightened up, obviously you don't want to over tighten it, but I had an opportunity to test the catch latch, just like that. There is this little piece right here. Now you can twist it and it will stay out, so that way you have free movement of the release handle here, but it is also notched so that way it can lock in place and this handle cannot move. That's a great safety feature. But also, don't forget to utilize it and leave it like that, and you, I don't know, some stick gets caught up in there and this thing goes wonka wonka on you. Don't do that, y'all. So that's handy dandy right there. Okay, back to the assembly. The next step is going to be little heads up, outfitter. There's a step 4 and a step 4. I get it, no worries. But yeah, just a little editorial thing there. That should be step 2. Step 2 is going to be getting the tray tire catches installed, the wheel catches. And now these are going to subsequently use the other bolts. And actually, never mind. They are subsequently going to use the bolts that are already in here. Now there is a number 12 bolt that will hold the center cross member as well. So I got that all fixed up correctly. One tool I did fail to mention you'll need, that's mentioned in the instructions, is a 4mm Allen wrench, and that's for these little bolts for the cross member on these wheel wells here. Yeah, pretty all straightforward stuff. Now it's time to go ahead and mount it to the hitch. What's going to be the best way to do this? I do suppose I'll start in this fashion. More than likely, it doesn't matter in which direction this all goes. You could probably have it facing this way. It does not matter. Grab 2 of the bolts and there are these handy dandy little slots. You can just slot it on through. Whoop. Now comes the exciting part of lining it up. Take the washer and lock nut. Find them under there somewhere. Make sure the nut is facing in the correct orientation when attempting to thread it onto the bolt. a little fiddly for sure, but once you get it, it goes. Just like that. Get it to the point where it's about to catch and gets tight. You know, from years and years of working on everything from small engine lawnmowers and stuff to cars, motorcycles, all the things, I will tell you, this genuinely feels quality. The welds are nice. I mean, even the lug attachments for the bolts for this section right here, this looks premium. This is definitely a very quality rack, and I am very grateful for this opportunity, y'all. Okay, so those two are sorted. In this particular case, since I got to flip it upside down, it'd be easier to tighten them down. I am going to go ahead and tighten them down once I have both on there. All right, that's situated on there. Well, lo and behold, one of these little pickles slid out, y'all. Look at that. So there you go. When that one slid, it actually slid it out. Oh, I don't know why I just did all that. I was about to take that silly thing out. Are you crazy? Wow. What a goofball. Because all I have to do is slide it back down here, put it in the groove, get it aligned, and guess what? It'll slide right back down in there, folk. That's using your dipstick, Jimmy. Okay, now that silliness is took care of, I'm making sure that they're flush up against these little bumpers here that are welded in place. And I would definitely say this portion of it would be much handier to have socket and ratchet. Yes, an adjustable wrench will work, but just due to the tight nature of this, it would be much more advantageous to have a socket and ratchet. So just a heads up on that. I'm going to go ahead and get all this tightened up and proceed to the next step. Return momentarily. All right, the trays are attached, and now it is time to install the uprights. So you've got the bolt here. Be mindful, you do have these two bushings that need to go on either side to help facilitate the ups and downs. Take the bolt cap, remove one washer, and don't put it on the wrong side, y'all. Ugh, goofball. So what it is, it's got a catch. You see? And you need to make sure, because of course keeps it from going too far. You have just over 90 degrees of rotation. So when you're traveling with a bicycle, when you're not traveling with a bicycle. Anyway, make sure you get your bushing. Slide that on there. Make sure you get some grass in the mix while you're at it. And as well, this retainer washer here has 2 notches. Make sure that it is seated appropriately. It is recommended in the instruction manual to do 50 of the NMs. And I am going to find out what 50 of the NMs feels like with my monkey wrench. I'll use the smaller one though. Don't over tighten this part of it, y'all. Nice movement, nice and smooth. Next. That was good and tight for shipping right there, so it didn't rattle out. That's for sure. Slide one of those jamos back on there. Whoop. Sure, is that about 50 NMs? It moves nice and smooth like. Well, there you go, y'all. That is the main kit and caboodle put together. Now, of course, you have this end of the shenanigans, which is the frame / seat post clampage, depending again on your bike frame design. And that's all pretty straightforward, as you got that up, and then these just slide on down here. Got a little crank knob, and you do all the things. Voila! Wow! All right, folk, now it's time to actually see this thing in action. Okay, y'all, I am back, and it is now time to install this rack on the truck. So I have it in the folded position. I just figured that would make it much easier. Just like that. Of course, when you're putting the bolt in, make sure you have your washer and lock washer ready to roll. Find the good spot. Thread it on in there. Now, I actually have a 24mm socket here with my 1/2 inch drive ratchet. That should help expedite things. Nice and tight. Got the lock washer compressed. Good to go. Last but not least, of course, you got the safety pin. Well, safety clip, I should say. Now, it is time to unfold it. So, of course, you've got the little catch there. Go ahead and pull that. You can twist it if you like so it stays free. Bring it on down, and lo and behold, there is the rack. No joke, this thing is nice. It is definitely not shaking around like some of the other racks I've seen on vehicles. Okay. Now that that's attached, time to put some bicycles on here. I'll return in just a moment. I'm back, y'all, and it is officially time to find out if this e-bike rack can ramp your game up. Let's get into it, shall we? All right, first things first, make sure you have it with the hook side. Set your ramp down like that. And what better rig to load first than a fantastic Rocky Mountain Instinct, coming in the mid 50s, somewhere around there. Just like that, the front wheel is in place. And now, just go ahead and, well, probably should have disconnected that strap first, but you know, silly me. Go ahead and do that, flip the lever up, get that back to the wheel, flip that around. Make sure the little cover for the wheel is in a good spot. Protects the rim there. There we go. Snug it down. Same for the front. Again, make sure the rim protector is located in the correct place. Like that. You might have to tilt the bike a little bit to get it past the pedal, depending on your pedal position at the time. Now it appears this is going to be a good spot right here above the shock. Probably should have oriented it the other way, but genuinely, it's no big deal. But just for ease of use for this strap, that's not going anywhere, y'all. The only curiosity is when I come by with the pedal or whatever, just make sure the pedal's in a good spot. Anyway, Okay, here's one thing. Definitely something to make note of. So this longer sled, it is a little tight on clearance right here because the tray's just a smidge short. No big deal. No, not a deal breaker or anything. Just make note, it is a little tighter when you have the longer trail enduro e-bikes. Now, time to put it on the other side. Now, this side's a little bit steeper, so that's going to be very interesting as I push up the stump jumper. And before I even get it up there, I will at least go ahead and get that strap out of the way. Oh yeah, the ramp didn't skip a beat at that angle at all. Stayed perfectly in position, y'all. All right, this time around, I'm going to go ahead and swing this up. Now, this is a very unique bike, and I'm glad I have the opportunity to test this because the 2022-23 generation stump jumper Evos had an asymmetrical frame with an additional support right here by the shock, and so it makes it very unique. But I do believe that right here towards the upper portion of the top tube, I think I've got a good location to mount it there. Maybe this time I'll put this in the correct orientation. Go ahead and undo the strap. Actually, where I'm seeing the alignment in this case, I'm going to use the down tube. Which brings me to another point, that this right here, it actually pivots 360 degrees to allow for multiple mounting positions, which is going to work out flawlessly right now, as I definitely need it for this particular bicycle frame. So got that on there nice and secure. Of course, get the frame protector positioned accordingly. Bam, just like that. Good to go up there. Make sure that the strap's not going to rest against any of the spoke nipples there. Again, ensuring the wheel rim protector's located in a good spot. Go ahead and flip the lever up. Slide it on back there. Secure the lever. Give it a slight bump back to make sure it's not, again, resting against any of the spoke nipples there. Rim protector is located in a good spot. And that is beautiful, y'all. Let me tell you. That's seriously a fantastic piece of kit. And I mean, short of a little bit of changes, like personally, I think this should be round stock so that this piece could stay on here permanently and just, you know, swing out of the way, pivot around. I think that would be helpful. You know, putting it on there with it as a separate piece isn't a big deal. It's not going to drive me nuts. No, this is a great, fantastic rack. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, y'all. I mean, it's definitely quality material. This is premium grade stuff. And so, yes, I can highly recommend it. The one curiosity about it all is just how to devise a way to store this particular tray. Now, there is a different version that they offer where it's not a foldable ramp, but it also has a point where you can mount it at the back. So that is a super handy feature, but for what this is, it'll absolutely meet my needs. And again, at the end of the day, you know, after shredding mountain bikes and just being so worn out, especially like going to Snowshoe or Bryce or something like that, yeah, I don't want to lift up a big old heavy mountain bike. I just want to roll it up a ramp, strap it down, and go about my day. And let me tell you, Outfit R has put something sweet together right here. Stay tuned, it's not over yet, y'all. It is time to take this for a quick trip. Now, I happen to be in a location that has conditions very similar to what you might find on a fire service road or something like that, going out camping or mountain biking. So, let's go find out how this rack handles off-road conditions and then a little bit of on-road. That thing is so sturdy, I seriously can't imagine it's going to have any issues on pavement, but it's the off-road that I'm very interested to see. Let's get it on. You know, one feature I did forget to show is the one to access, you know, truck beds, drop your tailgate, or open the hatch on a SUV or something. All right, pull that out of the way. Go ahead and grab that and allow it to slide down to its stopping point right there. Hit your head on the handlebar because you're so slick. And boom. Just like that, you do have access. Now, in this particular case, without a little extension, this does not fold flat, but still, no deal breaker. I can still access whatever I need. Typically, a cooler for a nice cold, you know, water or Gatorade or something riding. Maybe some tools or something like that. But anyway, yes, this feature is very handy. And then you just grab it like that, lift it back up, make sure you pop that little safety catch, and you're good to go. So after a quick trip on the gravel road and then out on the pavement, I can tell y'all this rack did phenomenally. Due to the way it's bolted into the Hitch receiver, it is very secure and does not rattle around. That feature in and of itself is worth its weight in gold. I promise you. I've rode in vehicles with certain racks that will just rattle and rattle going down the road, or clank when you're hitting the brakes and the bike shift around. Yeah, not exciting. So very grateful to have that particular feature. Now I'm going to go ahead and download the bikes and go over some final thoughts. And I'll start, of course, with the ramp situation. Yes, it is absolutely what you need. You need this in your life. I'm just going to put it that way. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. You need an e-bike rack that has a ramp, because like this rack, it will ramp your game up. Now, this particular model, again, doesn't have anywhere to store the ramp on the rack, which is, you know, again, no big deal, but it would be handy. Definitely would be handy. I do like all of the points of contact that secure the bike to the rack. These are very robust feeling pieces of kit. Of course, having the rim protectors on the straps, another nice feature. And of course, this section right here can fit some very wide tires, so there is that. Now when it comes to the frame clamp here, it is the one caveat. So of course, just the strap's fine. This style is okay. I still think that maybe this should be a round bar that would allow this to just swivel out of the way. But what I'm going to do is just slide it down there for the time being, and then whoop, fold that down. With these wider mountain bike handlebars, you do have to do a little bit of lean to it. Just like that, the first one is downloaded. That downloaded easier than Microsoft updates, y'all. And I don't use Microsoft. Linux all day, y'all. All right. Grab the ramp. Now, here's something interesting, y'all. This one did seem to shift backwards a little bit. Now hopefully y'all can see that, but it needs to be a little bit tighter at these straps, I do believe. Maybe tighten that up just a smidge. Double check that 50 NMs. Because if y'all recall from earlier in the video, with this particular sized e-bike, it was a little tight under the rear. Not a deal breaker, And I'm sure once you get it all settled in and everything, get everything sorted, it's no problem at all. So, not gonna fault it for that. That could have just been me not tightening the straps down perfectly. But anyway, back to the straps. And just like that, you're ready to go. So, can I recommend the Outfitter 2 e-bike aluminum carrier with ramp? 100%. Absolutely. You will thank yourself at the end of the day, especially after a hard day of shredding, getting those miles in, getting that elevation gain in. You will be so grateful you invested in an e-bike rack that has a ramp, and specifically from Outfitter right here. So again, is it 100% perfect? No. Am I 100% perfect? No. Will this ramp your game up? Yes. So you can get out, go shred more, and get more perfect. All right, I'm out of here. Thank y'all again so much for tagging along. I am super duper grateful, y'all, for this amazing opportunity. I'm just beside myself. So I never ever expected something like this to happen on my little old channel. So again, a big shout out to Outfitter. Now go check out their website and find the accessories you need for your adventures today. And again, ramp your game up. Bye.